Hello, hello. Today I'd like to talk about a specific fake Sword Art Online criticism, and since it's reasonably short, it just gives me the chance to rant about the general state of SAO criticism. This specific point may have originated from Mother's Basement's Why SAO is a Bad Video Game 2 video, but it may have come from somewhere else as well. In short, the idea is that supposedly using items in combat requires using the menu, which would be awkward and immersion breaking. The problem is that this simply isn't true and doesn't happen. That's not how SAO or any of the post Einkrad seed games work. There's only one time anyone uses their actual menu in a fight, at least in the anime, and that's Kirito swapping his build from single blade to dual blade in the 75th floor boss fight against the Gleam Eyes. The actual way item use works every time it's shown is the player using it has already physically manifested the item and put it in a pocket, pouch, or otherwise on their physical person within the game. And thus, every time they use an item, you see them pull it out and use it. They do not use the menu. I could stop there, but this is also a good example of the problem with SAO criticism in general. It comes from hate watching the show rather than simply watching it. They're looking for problems and not looking for the answers because that would destroy their point, which is making a hate video. It's cinema sins, and not even old cinema sins when the videos were 5 minutes and actually kind of good. It's the 20-minute modern ones. They simply look for something, and then if it's explained later, don't go back and remove their criticism from their script. By dismissing SAO as turn your brain off entertainment, they justify themselves not using their brains. They don't try to think about how something is intended to work or how it's being shown to work. SAO is doing things right. It is showing instead of telling, but because they're not paying attention, the only way they will understand things is if they are told. There are multiple common criticisms that are like this, where anyone who is not agi-build watching the show to make their CinemaSins script can see what's going on. Diabell refusing a potion is another great example, though. I'm planning to make a whole video on that topic because that's actually an interesting lead-in to a much bigger theme within the show, while this one is a one-off, essentially. And if you do need those things spelled out for you, Sword Art Offline, the chibi videos, do explain this. Obviously, I have to read the supplemental material isn't a good thing, but SAO is showing you what needs to be done. This is just supplemental information if you want it. It is adequately explained in the show. Furthermore, for all their parroting of the lie that Reki Kawahara doesn't play MMOs, if they had played a few MMOs, it would be even more obvious because this fictional mechanic has a great analog in actual MMOs, the hotbar. In a game like Anarchy Online or Dungeons and Dragons Online, yeah, you might have a clicky in your inventory that you want to use or a potion, but you're not going to open your inventory and use it. If you're planning to use it, you put it on one of your hotbars and click it or press a key to activate it there. This is very comparable to the dichotomy between the unmaterialized inventory where all your random stuff is in Sword Art Online and the actual physical stuff on your person. This doesn't even fall under the larger category of, oh, this isn't like WoW, so it must be a bad MMO comparisons, because World of Warcraft has this mechanic. In short, if you're going to complain that SAO is shallow, make sure you don't drown in the puddle.